that, Gino. Kill this guy alive. Dang.
Welcome,
Gino.
to the
I
Level
didn't know
Up
you were chill like that,
podcast.
Gino.
Huh?
I didn't know you were chill like that.
I always hit those vibes.
That's right.
Welcome
back.
to the Level Up podcast. Today we got the legend, the man, the myth, the top performing Ferocity AM of July 2022, Ryan Brennan, that ran the Bronx Marathon.
And before he was
1990.
born, somehow he ran that thing.
Before I was born, I managed to run the Bronx Marathon.
Dude,
Yeah, that's what I like to hear.
did you qualify for Boston?
I did, yeah.
That's kind of impressive. Were you really born in 2000?
No, I was born in 1997.
Oh. Okay.
It's
I'm way off.
1997, baby.
Oh, I thought you said 10 years before you were born. That's my fault. I just can't hear. But anyways, so Ryan, give yourself an introduction for those people who don't know you.
Yeah, for sure. What's up, everybody? My name is Ryan. I'm currently in Dallas, Texas. I grew up here as well, but making my way over to Florida here soon, which I'm really excited about.
Island boy.
Yeah, exactly. So I graduated college in 2020. Started my own real estate wholesaling business. Along the way, crossed paths with these two legends, and long story, I joined their team. So been cruising with Ferocity since January. Can't believe I'm 8 months in now, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's a long time.
So yeah, started off as a lead manager, and like they were saying, I'm an acquisitions manager now, and it's been awesome. So that's the T.
Heck yeah.
The word on the street is you got the most contracts last month, I heard.
I think so. I think I was up there.
So
Yeah.
you did that in a pretty short time, right? Like, so when did you start doing acquisition? When did you start closing deals?
Oh, probably like maybe beginning of June.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd say like
And-
early June.
And like, what do you think like helped propel you faster to being, obviously really good, really quickly?
I put a lot of time into my sales skills. I spent a lot of time, whenever I wasn't working, or if I was out, just walking around the neighborhood or whatever, I would listen to like Steve Trang or, just sales guys, any podcasts or like things I could listen to help my sales skills, which, you obviously need at the LM role, but especially at the acquisitions role. And I just wanted to spend a lot of time, developing my sales skills as an LM. So those skills could translate, into actually making offers and acquiring properties rather than, setting up appointments. So I think just, taking the sales part of it super seriously is what allowed me to move pretty quickly.
Got it. So you started out as LM in January, right? Worked your
right.
way up now to June AM. We got Chuck here saying absolute legends. I saw Gunner said top G
My
in the
guys.
chat. Also, Ryan, when you get a chance, look at your solution or your resolution. Try to go to like 540 if you can switch it on your side, because it just said something with an error recording it from your side. But no big deal if you can't find it right away.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll just go on a little bit while you're working on it. But yeah, Ryan's been working with us, for about 8 months now. Came on heavy in June as AM, and that's what we do, right? We train our LMs before becoming AMs. That way they get a basics of our business. We can test them on the core values. We can test them on many different things, see if they're going to be a good fit before they get the upgrade to the AM role. And Ryan was from the beginning, was just proving himself, on the LM side of things and growing tremendously. And so, we gave him the opportunity, and ever since then, we haven't looked back. I don't know exactly your numbers in June, but I believe you had the same amount as Jared in July, like 8 contracts, I think it was, or I'm not wrong, 8 or 9, something like that, contracts in July. So we turned him up a little bit. His goal before was and now it's 2 starting this week. So we'll get that baby moving. Move that
We're off
baby
to a good
forward. Did you
start.
get
We
one
got
today,
one.
right?
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
one locked up today, so off to a good start.
That's what I'd like to
Yeah.
see. So yeah, like Chandler was talking about, you got better. What separated you? And we talked about you studying more and more. And so, what are some things that you were studying? Like I know sales, but what's some big things you've learned taken away from sales?
Yeah, just the importance of listening and understanding that, in sales you want to be talking 30% of the time. You want your client, your prospect, your seller, whoever it might be, you want them to be doing the talking, and you want to kind of push those buttons and pull those strings and get them in that emotional state, right? One of the big things I've heard Gino say a lot is people don't typically make their decisions on logic, and more so are influenced by their emotions. So we want to dive super deep, and we want to dig into why is this person interested in selling, and we want to take that to the next level. We want to see what the roots of that are. Somebody could say like, oh, I'm tired of being a landlord. Okay, well, seems like you might have had a bad experience with your tenants. Yeah, no, last month they totally, wrecked the living room. They ripped out all the plumbing. Oh man, seems like that's, had a big impact on you. Next thing you know, you've gone down a rabbit hole and you're pulling out all their emotions, and that's how you can negotiate the best deals.
Yeah, I say time in, time out. Time in, time out is that hitting the emotions of the seller is the number one thing you can do in sales, right? Getting them emotional again, because humans don't make decisions based on emotions. Like Ryan just said, we make decisions, or excuse me, we make decisions on emotions. We don't make decisions off of logical reasoning. And for example, that's why, when you're on your diet, for logically, you wouldn't go eat that ice cream, but emotionally, you just want that feeling, that sensation that ice cream gets you at 10:30 at night while you're laying in your bed, right? But like things like that, right? We make things emotional. Casino, holy shit! At the casino this week, man, I've been going on a run, and I thought I was doing good. A run meaning like I literally just bet like 100 a night. It feels like a lot of money, but you look back like, boy, one deal you can make 30K, and like you don't realize how much this business is of real estate's can get you. But anyway, I was doing in real estate. I was like, real estate. I was in the casino last night. I'm like, I'm down 100. I lost my money. I'm like, Melanie, my fiance, I said, I'm gonna put this 100 on black. Let me get my money out. Give me my card. I was just emotional in it. Logically, I shouldn't put another 100 in if I'm already down. But emotionally, I was like, yo, let me get this money. I'm gonna win it back. 100 on black. First spin, it's red. So I lost another 100. I walked out, pretty upset. But at the end of the day, you're just working one deal away.
Dude,
But
those
anyway, so that's a
those
proven
blackjack
fact.
games get you going, man. When we were in
Well, the problem you got, it
Vegas,
wasn't
is a
blackjack. It was
dangerous
roulette.
place, dude.
It was roulette.
Do you know what?
We,
Well, remember when we were playing blackjack and um, we were in Vegas and we were betting like $300 hands, and like literally like my arms are shaking because I'm so much adrenaline, because I'm like, oh my god, oh my god.
yeah, and the big good for you guys listening, we're not doing $300 hands. We probably did one hand 300 one night. And we
Yeah,
got
and we were
lucky, and we
just,
just said, let's go in for it, and then hit it.
and then we
Oh, there you
lost, of
go.
course.
Then we
Classic.
ended up losing it, but we
The
did win,
classic.
and then we lost it on something else. So, but anyway, yeah,
So,
Ryan, so that's good. Go ahead, Chandler.
oh, I was just gonna say, and like Ryan, at the same time, like you're doing all this in Costa Rica. Like in June, you were living in Costa Rica now for what, like 30, 45 days?
Yeah, I was there for the entire month of June.
So talk a little bit about that, like how you're able to make the transition um, into a new role while traveling and doing all, living the nomad lifestyle.
Yeah, no, it was an amazing experience being down there, and just being, exposed to new cultures, and, being there for, if you go for somewhere like Costa Rica, for a week or two on vacation, you're still kind of in that tourism mode, right? Where you feel like you're on vacation. But I mean, I didn't take any time off, while I was there. So what I found was I actually had less distractions being there than, back home, because it's not like you got, your buddies texting you, hey, like, let's go grab some beers, or, hey, like, let's go play golf. Like, I was literally in the middle of nowhere in Costa Rica with, nothing but my clothes and all my work stuff. So I just got down to business, and it was definitely really cool, locking up deals in Costa Rica and, locking up deals in Atlanta from there. But it was an awesome experience and one that I really enjoyed that I'm definitely going to be doing again.
Heck yeah.
So what kind of, so like an interesting thing on this, like we've been talking about this a lot recently, is like when you go to these new places, like you have, like you said, the no distractions and all that kind of stuff. Did you feel like any more productive? Like you should be, more dialed in with your time because you want this afternoon to be able to go and do all the fun things that this new place has to offer.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, in the to kind of parlay that, Chandler, the other kind of motivating factor was um, I was thinking the whole time, like, I want to be able to do stuff like this whenever I want to. So that was motivation to, grind it out and stay focused on work. The other thing that was nice is that where I was, we were 2 hours behind Atlanta. So, 6 p.m. and at ATL was 4 o'clock there. So, by the time I got done working, I had a good amount of time, a good amount of sunlight left to hit the beach or, do whatever. So
Heck yeah.
it was awesome.
What kind of stuff did you do down there for fun?
So on the weekends, we did one like zip lining trip that was super cool. We got to like zip line through some mountains and stuff.
All that stuff.
Um, rented a car one weekend and explored a few different areas of the country that we weren't staying at. And then another weekend, we did like a big boat tour. So we took this huge boat out all around these different
Hey,
islands and stuff. Um, so it was super fun. Great country. I really like Costa Rica. People are great.
for sure. So, anyway, if you guys watching, please leave some comments here, questions. Again, this is Ryan. He's been, again, like I said, he locked over 8+ deals last month, top performing AM. So he'll be able to handle, especially for people that have questions about maybe that MLS strategy, pitch and access. Like, this is it, man. This is free game here. We got another 30 minutes, 33 minutes. So
Yeah,
put it
and
on,
also like
bring it
one thing
in.
that, sorry to cut you off, Gino, my bad. I was gonna say one thing to even add in is like Ryan's also, like you mentioned earlier, he started his own wholesale company and has done several wholesale deals on his own too. So he understands the game and doesn't just understand the acquisition side of it. So he's pretty well spoken across the board.
Heck yeah,
Yeah,
But
absolutely. That definitely is one of the reasons I have been able to, move along pretty quickly here is just because I brought a lot of experience to the table and, I'm very, very informed on the industry and how the transaction works from, A to Z.
yeah,
heck yeah, I like that. So what else could you share to the people listening? They're gonna be watching this, right? What's one of the biggest things? I know you talked about do not, just listening 70/30, but what's something that you've learned in the last, let's say, month that you think helped you, shape, that those 8 contracts? I know you stopped, listening more, but what's some other things you can give them, some of these people some other good tips if they're calling all these sellers trying to lock them up?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I remember I had a conversation, it was actually with Chandler, right before I was about to start as an AM. And you had asked me something along the lines of, do you think that this is a better role for you in contrast to lead manager? Like, do you think your skills, your personality, your character, etc., is more suited for the AM? And I said, absolutely. Because just the way my mind works is, as a LM, I feel like, you're more so focused on gathering the information and kind of determining if we may or may not be a fit. Whereas with the AM and just kind of how my mindset is, I just want to find a way to make something happen, right? Like, where can we meet in the middle to make both parties happy?
Mm-hmm.
And I think, another thing aside from pulling out those emotions and letting the seller do the talking is you never want to go into an appointment and look at the numbers, see what they're asking, see what they're assume that the deal is dead. You want to go into that with a totally open mind and think that you might be able to uncover some information that you weren't previously aware of, and perhaps there is a way that we could still be a fit with each other, or maybe there's some details that we don't know about. So one of the things that I've actually started to do as of the last couple of weeks is I won't even look at the asking price until I'm like at the point in the appointment where we're, actually starting to negotiate. So I can go into it with a totally clear state of mind and treat every single appointment the exact same, and just go into it with the mindset like, I don't know what the circumstances are. I don't know how this is going to pan out, but I'm going to do everything I can to make this a win-win for us and for the seller.
Mm-hmm. How many scenarios do you feel like when you look at the deal, or maybe hindsight looking at the deal, you're like, wow, this is probably not going to work out, and then it does work out?
A good bit, a good bit more. I mean, I'm not going to say it happens all the time, but more so than you would think.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely because a lot of these sellers are, getting calls all day, and a lot of people are asking, so what's got you interested in selling? But not everybody is taking that to the next level. They
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
not they're not doing a proper job of truly hearing what that seller is going through, and what they actually have going on behind that curtain. So the second you can get your seller into a position to where they feel like they can trust you, and they kind of open that curtain up, that's where that's where the magic happens for sure. So
What
when
are
you
what
think
are
about,
some? Oh,
no, you're good, go
I was
ahead.
just gonna say, like, what are some things that you feel like build trust, allow you to kind of peel back the onion a little bit? What are some things you do?
Rapport, right from the get-go. You want to be aside from just, hey, how are you doing today? Take that another step. Oh man, I'm just got home from work, long busy day. Oh no way, like what's got you busy these days? Oh, I'm actually an electrician. Oh no way, my uncle Bill's an electrician. Oh really? Yeah, he grew up in Brownsville. No way, I'm from Brownsville. Like,
Yeah,
it's
building
just
that
things
rapport.
like that. Don't just ask like, hey, what's up? How's it going? My name's Ryan. Um, how much do you want? You want to
Yeah.
you you want to make them feel like you're not a robot, right? You want them to feel like you're a real human. And one of the things I think we even talked about on the last one of these I was on a few months ago was, when you think about somebody selling their house to you who's never met you before over the phone, that's actually a pretty crazy concept on paper. So you got to understand that these sellers got a call from somebody or a text from somebody out of the blue saying, hey, I want to buy your house. And right off the bat, they kind of have you a little bit in that spam territory, right? So we need to get out of that territory, and we need to convince them that, we're a legitimate person, we're credible, this is what we do, we're very successful at it. And, we're in the business of helping people solve problems. We're not in the business of, ripping people off or taking advantage of people. We want to treat people right, and help them get through whatever they're going through.
Yeah, I think that's important that you mentioned that, Ryan. That rapport is big, and I know we talk about this too. It's not just talking about them being an electrician. That's a good part to start it off. That's the good part to keep it going. The conversation and allowing them to put their guard down right in the beginning. But then like we've been working on Ryan recently, is like the true rapport gets built when the seller knows that you have empathy with them, right? When the seller feels that you understand them, right, and their emotions, and that's empathy, right? And how can we do that? Like you've already alluded to, Ryan, and what we've been focusing on more is giving more of those. It seems like, it feels like more of those, labels and those mirrors, and letting the seller, shout out to Chris Voss, but letting the seller just go into detail about their emotions and how they feel. And if they feel that you understand them, right? If Ryan tells me that he's going through a lot, he has to go through a divorce. And I said, it sounds like, man, you're going through a tough time. Yeah, I am. My wife, she's divorcing me. I got to take care of these things. I got to do these things with our kids. Like, he's now opening it up to you, and just again empathizing and showing you that like he really truly is in some sort of emotional state, and again showing you empathy. So
Sure.
And this might be a super tough question because I don't know if I've any even most people have even thought of it. But what do you like look for to ask like deeper? Like, for example, like diving deeper into motivation, Ryan. Like when you're hearing them talk and hearing certain words or whatever, like what is triggering you to ask and be curious about certain topics? Like what are some of those signs for you?
Just any time that the seller kind of gives you something right? So just to put it into an example, like let's just go back to the, oh, I'm just tired of being a landlord example. It just like Gina was saying, the most effective way to get people to talk is by not putting words in their mouth and letting them do the talking, right? So I'm the seller. I say, yeah, I'm just sick and tired of being a landlord. I thought I was going to keep this property forever, but it's been a nightmare. Really? Wow. It seems like, this has had a really big impact. Yeah, it has. I've had to pay for all these repairs. I've had to do X, Y, Z. It's impacted me in A, B, and C. Really? Wow. Like, how's that make you feel? Right. So you're just kind of asking these short, open ended questions that put the ball in the seller's court, and they almost like forces them to come out to for words to come out of their mouth, because you're not putting those words in their mouth. You're making them, you know, open up to you with those open
Hmm.
ended questions.
I like that. Do you ever have any scenarios where people are kind of like not wanting to tell you what you're gonna do? And if so, like how are you handling those situations?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, quite frequently, I'll get something along the lines of, man, why do you care? Like, why do you keep asking me
Hmm.
all this stuff? And the best way I handle that objection is by saying, oh, Mr. Seller, um, one of our main things is we just want to make sure that we understand where everybody's coming, you know, that people are dealing with all different kinds of situations and circumstances. And we just want to do everything we can to make sure that we're assisting you as efficiently as possible. Usually, 9 times out of 10, they're like, okay, that actually makes sense. And that's a long way, because once they feel that sense of comfortability and they understand why you're asking these questions, it builds rapport, builds trust, builds credibility, and it kind of incentivizes them to keep talking.
Yeah, because you're gonna be able to better serve them. I like that. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, that's
And
why I feel it's important. Like you said, Ryan, there can't be any yes or no questions. Right? You can't give sellers. You're not asking yes or no questions. We're asking, like you said, how does it make you feel? They can't answer that yes or no and stop talking. They got to continue talking. They got to go into more detail, right, of how that makes them feel. Or it seems like you're going through a lot. Yes. Okay. And how does that make you feel? Again, leaving up. Can you tell me more about that? Right. Even saying it seems like sometimes they will answer yes or no, but that's fine. And hit them with the can you tell me more about that? Right.
For sure.
So again, guys,
empathizing
ask
and
any questions in
curiosity.
here too that you have.
Yeah.
Any questions? I know we got Paco in here talking about Chandler looks old, and thanks
Like
Paco for that.
2019. Some guy said I was
Yeah,
29 this weekend when I in my race. Asked him.
that's the first time you heard that before.
No,
Usually
you actually be
18.
surprised. A lot of people think I'm like 28, 29. So I don't know why.
I've never heard someone say. I've heard people say 19 to you. It depends who you're
Uh,
next to. You might be next to all the granola
dude,
girls,
it's
and you might
when you
be.
hang out with a bunch of 30-year-olds, that's what happens, dude. People think you're older. So
That's true.
we got a question here. What's the mindset that has helped you grow from being the top LM to the top AM? Coming from
Say
Gunner
Gunner.
Moore.
From top LM to top AM. I would just say that I've always pushed myself to be, the best version of myself that I possibly can. One of my favorite quotes, and don't give me shit, but one of my favorite quotes is from Matthew McConaughey, and it's so simple, but it's so awesome. It's just don't half-ass it, right? And he said, I watched this video when he was talking about it, and that simple term just applies to everything that you do, right? Anything that you do, just don't half-ass it, right? It's never going to get you to where you want to be. It's never going to help you achieve your goals. It's never going to help you, build the best relationships with, significant others, family members, friends. Just don't half-ass it. And I think that that's the mentality that I have, and what allowed me to move so quickly is just, anytime I commit to doing something, I'm taking an oath that, I'm not going to leave anything on the table. I'm going to leave it all out on the field. And, if it's worth doing, it's worth doing well.
I adding on to that, I think when that's the standard, uh, you really just you can't accept anything less. Like it hurts you to take anything less than outstanding. And like in all honesty, like even just for example, like anything you do, whether it's like eating, cooking, cleaning, I don't know, whatever part of your life, like more than likely you operate that way in every single facet. You know, you're probably a good driver. You're probably literally doing good at all these different things just because that's your mentality.
Yeah,
And
no, for sure. I mean, it like I said, it applies to everything, you know. It's just like once you kind of adapt that mentality and that mindset, you're going to just be such a better version of yourself.
did you always have that mindset?
Yeah, you know, most definitely. I've always kept a really hard work ethic, you know, with school growing up and with sports and stuff. I always took, you know, everything super seriously. I wanted to, you know, be the best that I could. So I would definitely say it kind of roots in, you know, just from growing up, but especially on a professional level. And, you know, just thinking about, I'm always thinking about like, you know, the next 5, 10, 15 years, and you know you have these goals set for yourself, and when you hold yourself to a high standard and you set all these high goals, like you know you can dream all you want to and you can set all the goals that you want, but you're never going to achieve those goals if you half-ass it, you know.
Mm.
So yeah, it definitely is rooted in you know myself at a younger age.
What are some of your goals?
No, I don't mind sharing. You know, I just want to get to the point where, you know, I don't have to necessarily trade time for dollars. You know, I'd rather build some kind of machine that, you know, essentially can run itself without me, you know, being there on the day to day. I look up to people like you guys. You know, y'all have built something really special, and you know something that makes you guys a lot of money. And I just look at people like you guys and some other, you know, mentors and people that I look up to, and I just think about, okay, well, I want to do what those guys did, you know, because obviously they've gotten to a place where they want to be, and I know that y'all aren't even close to where y'all want to be, but you know, I just look up to a lot of different people and I see the different things that they're doing, and I just think, okay, how can I mimic that? How can I get to that level?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Heck yeah.
I
So I
like it.
guess it goes into like again, and that's our job as a the company, you know, owner and CEO, and you know Chandler even COO is like figuring out where we can long term work together, whether it's in, you know, it's an entity together, like we're doing now, or in this facet, or we go somewhere else. You know, we stay together and just keep working on something. You know, as a team, just like, you know,
Absolutely.
we've talked about going to a big multifamily or whatever it may be. You know, and that's our job to show you guys where we can all grow together. You know, long term, get that
Okay.
100.
$100. This is an interesting question I was thinking about for some reason. Do you ever wish you weren't wired to be such a like a high achiever, like to have such a high standard for yourself?
um, Honestly, personally, no, but I know that some of the people around me do. Um, so, you know, definitely, you know, there's times where, you know, you see people having more fun, and you know you kind of stop and think like, all right, is all this time I'm spending on this stuff, you know, worth it? Should I just be, you know, kind of quote unquote living it up while I'm young? Should I not be so focused on, you know, building something special at a young age? Should I, you know, kind of put this on the back burner, enjoy it now while I'm young? But the way I look at that kind of perspective is quite the opposite. You know, I would much rather grind it out now while I'm young and I have energy and I have
Yep.
ambition, um, and you know not get to a point where you know I'm just like, oh, you know what, I'm just gonna freaking party it up and live it up in my 20s, and I'll start, you know, grinding in my 30s, and then you know your 30s roll around and you know life happens and you have more and more responsibilities, you have a family, and then you don't have time, or you don't have the motivation that you had, you know, when you were younger. So that's kind of the fear within me that pushes me to stay focused and to grind right now.
I
Yeah.
like that. KT says what's up
Mm,
too.
uh, I definitely agree that it's probably harder on the people around you because they don't understand. They can't relate. Like,
For sure.
because you're probably up late watching, like you said, a sales video or like learning something that you want to go and do while, whoever else you're hanging out with wants to just watch Netflix or chill and go out and have a good time. It's like, how do you draw the line for yourself on that?
Yeah, I'll use my lovely fiance as an example. Like, this was actually the
Better
other
watch
night.
Netflix. Come on,
Yeah,
Netflix.
she's like, just hanging out watching TV, saying like, "You work too much. Like, you're always like focused on work. Like, don't you ever just want to like turn it off and like, watch some TV?" And it was literally like 10:45 p.m. and I'm like reading a book on Section 8 real estate
Hey,
investing,
don't
like
get Stelly.
taking
Don't let Stelly hear that. He's gonna
take
get too excited.
like like taking notes and stuff, or I'm like, watching a YouTube video on something within real estate, or watching like a sales video or something. So yeah, you get those pressures, or like on the, not even on like a, significant other level with your friends. It's like, you get a call on a, Thursday at 4 p.m. and it's like, "Hey dude, we're all gonna go grab beers at, XYZ, like, come on." And you got to just be able to say like, "No, like, I've
Yeah,
got shit to
have
do."
that. It's hard. Chandler's hard
Yeah.
at saying no too. What's some advice, Chandler, you give Ryan to say no?
Say no. I say no most of the time. Sometimes you can't though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I was gonna get at too, Ryan, I know what we were talking about before. Um, I believe about like that separates us from other people. It's like not everyone wants to grind it out, and like because I have friends now that reach out to me, they're like, "Bro, I wish I was," because I've offered them all jobs in the past, like 3 or 4 years, and they're all, "Oh, I wish I joined. Now I'm starting my 9 to 5, and I freaking hate it." And like because we're at the age now, all our friends are starting the real world jobs, and it's like that's because at 19 to 22, you were just out there hanging, partying, or just hanging out with your friends during the day versus actually like studying on that YouTube at 10:40. And that same thing's gonna happen for you, like it already is probably, but you know what you're gonna see in 5 years. They're like, bro, how'd you learn how to take that house subject to? How'd you learn Section 8? And they're going to be asking all these questions like, bro, when you remember you called me at 4 p.m. that day to go have beers? Yeah, that's what I was watching. Or, I did it that night. So it's like, it definitely is a mindset shift too, because you're not like you're better than them. You just have more ambition right now. And it's not right or wrong, right? I mean, there's some people that are fine with that. And you're not going to change their mindset. And it's not like they're worse than you, but it's just knowing like, hey, if I can do this now, like we're talking about, I can work hard now. In my 30s, I can do whatever I want,
Right.
and I can hang with my kids, or I can hang with my family, and not have to worry about, freaking getting my bills paid because I know I set myself up. Right?
Exactly.
It's like the common thing. Like, if you want an uncommon life, you can't do things everyone else does because that's common. You got to be uncommon to have an uncommon life. And it's uncommon to not go out and drink with your friends on a Tuesday night, even though sometimes it is nice, like to go out and just relax. I'm sure every
Exactly.
once in a while you do. Actually, I heard this the other day. I can't remember where, but it was like champions know the difference between laziness and rest. And like whenever you need a break is when you need a break, just because you've been grinding so hard that it's like I gotta relax. But it's hard because sometimes you get the resentment, like I should be doing X and I'm not. And then like you can't
Yeah.
even sometimes enjoy when you go out to have fun because you're stressing about
I
all the things you
remember,
should be
dude.
doing.
I know this is a little, I'm
That's so
talking a
true,
lot,
Chandler.
but guys, by the way, bring any questions too. If we still got another roughly 10 minutes, so bring as many questions for Ryan, like we said already, and he's performing one of our top performing AMs. But I was just thinking about that too. Like I remember I would go to like the Buckhead bars, in Atlanta, the bars in college, and this is like I started my business at 19, so it was pretty much my sophomore year. So right when I was going, I was 21 on
You
a
were not
piece of
going to any
card.
bars
I was
then.
21 on paper, on a piece of paper in my wallet, but I wasn't 21 yet. But hopefully Riverside doesn't
Sorry,
take it down,
mom.
or Facebook. But I was going to the bars. And I remember just going in there, like just looking at like some of our, not even friends, just people I would see in there, like going crazy and like they're all partying. I'm thinking about like, how can I buy this bar? Like, how can I make some money off this? Like, what would I have to do? And I couldn't focus on anything. Like my girlfriend and like come dance, or all the friends are hanging out drinking. I'm like, I couldn't focus
That would
on
be like our
anything.
conversations at the brewery. He's
At the
like, how
brewery.
can we
Yeah.
buy that bitch?
Like, how can we build something like that, or how much does it take to get a? But like, it's hard because like some people I've seen, they're like, I don't know how they do it. Like they're just dancing, like they look like the stereotypical like Project X, like freaking party thing. And I'm just here like, man, I got to do this tomorrow. I'm gonna lock this lady up, or how do we make this into money? And it's like, it is crazy when you get to that mindset. It's like it's just ingrained in you. And then you got to know, like that's what traveling does for me, is know when you need to decide to take another route, or take a break for a second to let your brain chill out a little bit. And but yeah, I just thought
I,
this
I
related
also
to
think
that.
like kind of what we talked about a little bit earlier is like when you're in that new environment, and you have all these other things you can go and do in the afternoon that you want to do. Like you're traveling to these places to go and experience the culture, experience all the places, all the new things they have to offer. Is like you have to be efficient with your time. Like you have to do the most important things. And like I think that naturally you are more productive when you're doing that, just because you're dialed in the whole day. It's not like, oh man, I'm just gonna sit here and work 12 or 14 hours, and I'll work till midnight, and just because I got nothing else to do. It's like, oh, I want to go out and see what's going on in town and hang out at 6 o'clock or whatever. I want to go out to dinner, and that forces you to be much more selective with what you do in your time. At least for me, it does, for sure.
Most definitely. Yeah, no, I mean, when you've got cool stuff to do, you're in a cool spot, and, there's new places you want to see, there's restaurants you want to try, there's beaches you want to explore. When you have all that in mind, it kind of subconsciously makes you want to manage your time better, to your point,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you
Where
want to be able to get all your stuff done, but you also want to be able to, do those fun things.
where do you want to go next, Ryan?
I want to go to Argentina next.
Hey,
Argentina,
I've been there.
Argentina.
I
Buenos
went there a few
Aires.
years back.
You,
Yeah, I want to go
where
to
you
Buenos
where are you gonna
Aires.
go? Buenos Aires.
Yeah, yeah,
Nice.
it's such a
I
cool
was
city.
looking at this ski
I'll have
resort
to
in
reload
Chile,
something.
That'd be cool.
and it's apparently the ski resort's at like 18,000 feet.
Are you serious?
Yeah, which is like, how are you even gonna breathe up there,
Yeah,
dude?
I was gonna say, like, that's pretty intense.
Yeah, literally. Um,
Dang,
but yeah, so I might go to Chile over the summer, go ski down there.
that would be
Heck yeah.
awesome.
I don't know why my computer now says not allowing Riverside to record. Please refresh to continue. I'm getting
It's recording
screwed
on
over
our
here.
end at least.
I think on your side, but no big deal.
Should I like turn my camera off and come
No,
back
it's
on?
me, I think. But no big deal. So yeah, if you guys got a question, I know I mean Gunnar asked a question about what got you into real estate. What got you into
Ryan,
it, Ryan?
Yeah, um, you know, just back in college when I was trying to figure out, okay, what do I want to do um, after college. I just started thinking about the people that I knew that were, like really successful in my community, and a majority of them were in real estate or oil and gas. And of those two, real estate seemed like uh, a niche to me that would be more something I could be more passionate about. So ended up getting a couple of internships on the commercial side. I worked for 2 years in college for a company called Marcus and Millichap. They're a huge commercial real estate brokerage, and I was doing a few different things for them. And just long story short, after I got that little bit of exposure, it was something that I could really get behind. And I always liked the idea, even, being a little bit younger, about the idea of actually owning real estate and collecting rent. I thought that was awesome. And not to mention, all the tax benefits and everything that come along with that, aside from the cash flow. So just kind of started to look into it. And when I was a senior in college, I had two different job offers from big commercial brokerages. They were great positions. I was the famous class of 2020, so I didn't. Neither of those panned out for me because they were having to lay off their own employees, so they sure as hell weren't hiring 21-year-old kids. So I was just totally on my own, doing everything I could to find work. I got to the point where I didn't even care what kind of job I could get. I uh, I just wanted to make money. I was so sick and tired of being back at my parents' house like with no job. I just felt like such a loser. So I went online and I just started searching ways to make money. I started reading up on entrepreneurship and came across wholesaling, um, and really got behind the idea. Thought it was something I'd be good at, and
Did you get it
the
on
rest is
YouTube, or
history.
where'd you find wholesaling?
It was a YouTube ad. It was actually a Jamil Damji ad that showed up on my screen, and it just caught the hell out of my attention. And I just went down a huge rabbit hole and went
Big
through
Jamil.
YouTube University, just watching all this stuff on wholesaling. And I just started getting really passionate about it and really fired up because I was like, I don't need any money. I don't need any credit. This is something I can hop right into, right? There's no
Mhm.
kind of barriers to entry. And that's how it all started.
That's pretty dope. So like, did you join like the Astro course with Jamil?
I did, yeah.
How was that? Like, was it pretty good?
Yeah, no, it's a really good product. It is a really good product. His model's a little bit different than what I actually did. I think that his you really got to surround yourself with the right people. And I just went more so with like a model like very similar, pretty much the exact same of what we do at Ferocity.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he teaches all the different methods that are out there, but to answer your question, it was a really good product. I enjoyed the course and it taught me everything I know.
I
Heck
like it.
yeah.
How'd you find out about us? Because you were one of our clients for the call center too. We had
Yeah, for Premier Lead Gen.
yeah, Premier
Hey
Legion.
yo.
There she is.
Yeah. I actually I think I was talking to Jordan about this a long time ago, but I'm pretty sure that Paco was actually one of my cold callers. Oddly
Really?
Yeah,
enough.
He
Yeah.
I
could have
think
been
he
calling for
was.
everyone.
I bet he
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm sorry. I kind of forgot your question. I got sidetracked there.
Oh, dude, that's kind of funny.
No, he just said it though. He
The
just said
question:
Premier
How
Legion.
did you even find out about us
Oh, yeah, come
or
across you
about?
guys. Yeah, so I think just being on the REI algorithm on social media, I originally came across Gino's Instagram. At the time it was, I remember it was Gino REI ATL.
Yeah.
And once I started following him, I noticed that he was clearly partnered up with you, so I started following you too. And I was just so fascinated because y'all were the first two guys my age that I saw crushing it. All the guys that I saw crushing it prior to y'all were, the Jamils, the Paces, the Brent Daniels, the older guys, right? Not that they're like old, but you know what I mean. They're not,
Exactly.
college
Yeah.
kid looking.
Not
Uh-huh.
And I
relatable.
was like so fascinated because I was like, okay, well, if these kids are just, crushing it at our age, then, so can I. And I was actually I'd reached out to Gino because I had a deal under contract in Augusta, and I obviously knew that y'all were in the Atlanta area. So that's kind of how we broke the ice. And then I think from there, I might have DM'd you, Chandler, and was like, "Yo, I'm in the industry. Like, would love to chat sometime." And that's kind of how it all started.
Yeah, I
Heck
think we
yeah.
hopped on the phone, and then I remember actually when we talked because I was leaving the airport because actually we were coming back from St. Thomas, the Virgin
Mm,
Islands, and
yeah.
John Paul had parked my car in the $30 a day
I
lot for
remember. I remember.
like
I remember
fucking
that.
10 days. So I had to pay $300 for
Oh,
my car to get parked.
I remember that.
And I remember I was talking to Ryan. I was like, dude, my friend did this thing. It was kind of funny, but it was
dude,
That's
hilarious.
good.
that is a slap in the face. Welcome home to reality,
That's
right
right,
there.
dude.
Yeah, for sure.
Welcome back to DIA, baby. But
All right, Ryan. So before we end this, start thinking about what you're going to leave the listeners with. Me and Chandler got a couple announcements. One of them being that we're having our meetup August 29th. Ryan, you need to come back out. Hop a plane with Ryan Cronin. Boy, you boys can fly next to each other.
that's right.
There.
You
Oh,
boys
yeah.
can sit down.
Right there in Texas, boys. But no, for sure, guys, we're having our guy or one of our buddies come up, our mentors. They did over $1 million a month in wholesaling real estate. Does $1 million a month. And so I think it's going to be very beneficial, obviously, for everyone to come out. We learn marketing, sales. I mean, again, we pay this guy a lot of money per month to talk to us. And so it's going to be a nice one. We'll get those details out later. I'm still just pissed off about this computer not allowing Riverside to record on my end, like my personal screen. But anyway, Chandler, you got anything else to leave him?
Honestly, it's just
with?
gonna be a great time. I'm pumped to see you guys there because I've been close to death several times the last couple of weeks. So I'm just glad to be alive, man. I'm just glad to be here, man.
You're a maniac, Chandler.
Dude, I'm not even like I'll end it with this. And I did this traverse in the mountains of Colorado. And
Traverse,
it
boy.
says like class 5, like only one hard move, which is basically class 5's like it says use ropes. And I obviously I didn't bring any ropes, so I don't know how to rock climb. So we're doing this like path, and we make it up here. And there's a knife edge that's like this, and it's like going up like 30 feet, and it's like 200 feet drop on both sides. So I'm like climbing this knife edge across. I make it up, and then the next like I route find my way up to it's called the wall, and the wall is literally this, and it's 300 feet, or maybe it's like 200 feet, and you just rock climb up this wall, and there's a 1,500-foot drop right below you, and you're just climbing up it.
God.
And I'm not even gonna lie, like I completely blacked out the whole way up to the top. And like me and my buddy, when we got to the top, we were just like, we need a hug. Like it was like the most spiritual, crazy experience of my life because I thought I was, it was scary, man. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm still here. I
Nice.
made it.
I
So I
don't
look
even
forward
know
to
you
seeing
are
you
that
guys there down in
scary.
Atlanta. I'll be there. I will be alive. I'll make sure of that. So
Hopefully. Ryan, go ahead. What do you got to leave the listeners with?
Yeah, guys, I would just say, I mean, if any of y'all listening to this are still kind of in the, beginning stages and, you feel like it's really hard and, you feel kind of lost, just understand that like everybody goes through that. That's totally normal. It's okay to feel like, you're not performing or, you may not have it all figured out because you don't, like I don't care how far along you are, you don't have everything figured out. So just spend a lot of time, realizing that and improving what you can. One of my favorite sayings is control the controllables. Don't let fear or anything else get in the way of where you want to go and just stay focused, baby. Let's get this money.
that's well said by the Bronx Marathon man.
Yep.
Stay focused.
I love it.
Ryan, how
I
can
love
everyone
it.
reach out to you? They got questions. Maybe they got some AM questions. Maybe they got any questions in general. How can they reach out to you?
Yeah, for sure. Y'all feel free to reach out on Instagram. I'm at Ryan1Brennan. That'd be the best way to
Ryan
shoot
one
me a
Brennan,
DM.
number one Ryan Brennan, baby.
That's right. Number one, baby. Number one.